Yes, and the Small Firms Association play a major role in that, in Meet the Buyer conferences. We've also allowed many of our own member companies to be directly engaged with purchasing managers in the Irish Public Service and also in Northern Ireland. And that's something that we've been doing for many years and will continue to do. And what we found from that is that there's a deeper level of engagement, greater understanding of how the process works. And that's a bilateral effect, because the public procurement system finds that many small companies whom they hadn't heard of or knowledge of can in fact be very competitive in terms of supply and direct supply into the system. So what we would want to do as the Small Firms Association is increase the level of engagement. That acts as an educational process. It increases the level of information in the system and encourages small companies to get involved, but it also, and more importantly I feel, encourages the purchasing officers in larger organisations to consider small companies for such contracts. Well, the Small Firms Association view on that is that we'd be negatively disposed towards it, because we feel that it would in many ways simply put many small companies outside of the system. It marginalises small companies. We want to see greater disaggregation of contracts, because we believe that would greater encourage small companies to get involved in the process. Now, one can understand that the economies of scale rule, which some purchasing organisations may want to pursue, is the rationale for that. But at the same time, if small companies are to be encouraged to take part in this process, disaggregation rather than aggregation would be the right way to go. I don't believe so. I think value for money is critical, but also, apart from that, price is very important, but quality is important, equally is important, and delivery. They should be the three things. There is no point in buying at the lowest price if the quality isn't good enough. There's no point buying at the right price at the right quality if you can't have it delivered on time. So the three things come in tandem. The thinking in the public service, unfortunately, is that it's only price driven, that it doesn't have to do with the company who's supplying it. Now, for the company who only has to supply at the lowest price, will not be able to make the capital investment to ensure future delivery, and that would be very important for the purchasing authority. They won't be able to develop their own company, because they'll have one customer who's simply buying at the lowest possible price, so that doesn't allow them any margin. So ultimately, all you will have there is that you will have a system whereby you're moving from supplier to supplier, and that ultimately is neither to the benefit of the public authority or indeed to the sector that's supplying into them, because immediately another market appears. The potential suppliers will move to that, and then the public authority will be forced to pay higher prices, because people have opportunities for other types of contracts and they will move away. Lead times will become longer and quality will not be assured. So price is important, but it shouldn't be the key driver. Well, in my experience, the main reason is that companies who have in the past made a tender application and been unsuccessful are unlikely to do so again for 3 or 4 reasons, and the main one being the debriefing session or lack of it. What small companies need to know when they were unsuccessful is who won the tender, what price was it awarded at, and most importantly, their own strengths and weaknesses with regard to their own tender application. Not enough emphasis is placed on this, and that in itself is a major failing with the public procurement system in this country. Because companies, and particularly small companies, if they are to engage and use up very, very scarce management time, they need that feedback. And it needs to be critical feedback. It needs to tell them honestly where they were strong and where they were weak. And that will encourage them to re-engage. Otherwise, they'll simply look for a different market. And the real loser there is the Public Procurement Agency, because it will only have limited competition to supply to it. Yes, I do, and I think small companies have great capability in the whole area of doing e-business. Now, I should stress that e-business will not make a bad company good, no more than it'll make a good company bad. This is simply another way of doing business. It's a new medium. It's still business, and companies have to understand that everything that pertained before the intervention of e-business is still in place. You still have to be able to do it. you still have to have the capability. You have to be responsive, and you have to be able to deliver on time and within budget. Nothing else has changed. But as a medium, it will certainly give greater access, and it gives a more even spread in terms of access, and it cuts out any excuse that companies may have that using a paper-based system was inefficient or ineffective, that it didn't arrive, that the fax machine didn't work, that the postal system doesn't work. This is fairer, it's very fair, very comprehensive, and most importantly, small companies have demonstrated that they're very, very IT capable in this area. Those companies who want to be will access the information more easy, and the whole system will work more efficiently. So I believe there's a great future for e-procurement, but it has to be matched. It has to be matched on the side of the procurement agency, in that the information they're providing on an internet basis is understandable, that the complexities of it are removed, and that companies can respond within the time and give the information that's being requested of them. So the length of time for response should be increased. It shouldn't be used as an opportunity to reduce the length of time for the tender process. In fact, it should be added to, whatever the efficiencies are, it should be added to the length of time that the tender process has.